guys have not seen the first part or two of this video, I will link it here in the cards, but we are going to continue on reading with Nathan's Autism Spectrum Superpowers. This one is important for you. This is talking about how you have a hard time with your emotional reactions sometimes, right? Like sometimes you freak out. There are good and bad things about having superpowers. The bad is that my powers don't come with a reaction regulator.
I've got a question.
What's that?
You know what? What's this one?
Well, we'll get to that in just a second.
This one is happy. What's this one?
It's kind of like the colors, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Frustrated.
When I get hurt or scared or frustrated, my emotions go straight from feeling great to ready to explode, and I completely overreact. Does that sound familiar? My mom made a scale for me to help visualize what my reaction should be when different things happen. This is great. It has tools for parents too. I call this my reaction regulator. It has numbers 1 to 5 to go along with emotion levels. First of all, what's an emotion?
An emotion?
What are emotions? Emotions are your feelings.
This one's happy, this one's sad, this one is mad.
So it goes something like this. It
what's
says,
this one?
Mom points to the reaction scale. Nathan, you lost your favorite minifigure. That is a 2, which is freak out or not a big deal. Sometimes we have to ask ourselves that, right? Because sometimes you have a complete freak out when something isn't that big of a deal.
No.
If mommy makes your egg instead of daddy making your egg, or if somebody isn't in the right spot when you're going potty, or if we put something new on your plate, things that aren't that big of a deal, but you kind of have a big reaction, huh? And we're working on that, aren't we? Here is our reaction scale here. So 1 is life is good, be happy. 2 is something was unexpected, but it's a bummer, but it's not a big deal.
1 is being happy. What is 5?
Yeah.
Is
Hold
that
on, 3
sad?
is not going as planned. Take a moment and then move on. So you can take a moment to be kind of sad about it, but then we move on. 4 is having a bad day, and it's okay to be sad. And you have days like that sometimes. You say that, huh?
And what's 5?
5 is total emergency. You can freak out. So like if we were having an enormous earthquake or the house caught on fire or somebody broke a bone, that would be a good reason to have a reaction like that, because there's an actual emergency.
1 is happy. What's 2?
2 is it's a bummer, but no big deal.
What's that?
3, it's not going as planned, but you take a moment to be sad about it and then you let it go and you move on.
I think it's in between frustrated and mad, and this one would be mad.
Yeah, that's
Freaking out. That's even more than mad.
And this one, what this is, that's off the chart. That's called an overreaction. You know, when something is really like a 2, but you're having an overreaction, or a 5, you think it's a total emergency, that's called an overreaction. 5 is an overreaction if it's something that should be a 1, 2, or 3. So this one is perpetual automatic brain activation. My brain is always thinking about something. This is called my perpetual automatic brain activation. Is your brain always thinking about something?
Yup.
Yup. Sometimes you're thinking about things so deeply that when we talk to you, you can't even hear us. Because you're just so lost in what you're thinking, huh? Does that happen sometimes? And we have to really, really try to get your attention?
And sometimes I get too stuck thinking about the solar system. Right now I am.
Yeah, well, you're good at recognizing that, huh? So it says, I'll just be sitting somewhere trying to pay attention when my brain starts thinking about something completely different. Has that ever happened to you?
No.
No? Like when you're sitting in class sometimes at school and you're supposed to be concentrating on what the teacher is saying, and then you start thinking about the solar system? Does that happen sometimes?
No.
No?
It happens to me when I think about undersea.
When you think about stuff under the sea. It happens to me too sometimes. It's called hyperfocus. You get hyper-focused on something. And mommy gets hyper-focused too.
I get hyper-focused too.
Yeah? You get hyper-focused on the things you like too, huh,
Good
Sophie?
thing I don't. I'm the only one that does that.
No, you do the most, Alex. And you know what? Daddy is a lot that way too.
Daddy.
Yeah, have you ever noticed sometimes when you're trying to get Daddy's attention and he's like reading an article or something and it's really hard to get his attention sometimes? And it happens to everybody in this family. And I can't make it stop. A lot of times I'm thinking about several things at once, like doodles I'm working on, my favorite video game creation, and my current building brick project, all at the same time. It's very hard to pay attention to what I'm supposed to be thinking.
I'm thinking about 3.
Oh, okay. When my perpetual automatic brain activation is working, I feel like I'm completely locked into my current project and I can't leave until I finish.
I got 3 stuck in my head.
These superpowers, what's a guy to do? Having hyperfocus really is
I got 3
a
stuck in
superpower.
my head.
That can really be helpful when you have to get something done. And you can figure out how to channel that hyperfocus into what you need to be doing. Because then you're really productive and doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Hey, I've got a question.
And sometimes you could just relax when you're thinking about hyper-focusing on the things you like. Alright, so Sophie, helpful hints for sisters. If your brother is thinking about a project and can't move on, you can help. Figure out how to finish the activity or come up with a time to come back to it. So you can help him say, hey Alex, we have to go do this, but you can come back to it when we're done. Yeah, Alex, this is one of his sensory seeking things. He loves my hair, don't you? Because it feels good on your hands.
What's that thing called when you say things quiet? When I say things quietly over and over, I keep forgetting.
Well, that's technically called echolalia.
But what is it really called starting with an O?
With an O? I don't think it starts with an O. I mean, there's autism.
Yeah, autism.
No, it actually starts with an A. It's A-U. See? It's written on this book. A-U-T-I-S-M. Autism.
Yeah, I'll just do it with an O.
You know what? We're going to rewind for a second. Sophie, here's helpful hints if Alex is freaking out. Helpful hints for sisters.
Oh.
If your brother suddenly yells or cries, don't panic. Talk to him in a calm, quiet voice instead of yelling back at him, huh? You can help him with these numbers, Sophie. So if he's having a 5 about something that should not be a big deal, like a 1 or a 2, you can help him with his number scale and say, Alex, this is only a 2. We don't need to be having a 5 right now, a 5 reaction. And you can help Alex feel a little better by helping him know that you're there to help him.
Yeah.
And that you love him through it, huh?
Yeah.
And we all love him through it. But we always tell you that every time that you get mad and then after you calm down, sometimes you feel a little bit bad about it, huh?
Is that what my mommy?
Yeah. We say, we love you no matter what, always and forever, right? We love you even when you're having a hard time. We love you even when we don't love your choices. We love you no matter what.
I'm having a bad day. I was in this phase when I waited so long that my toast got all hard.
Oh, yeah. Because you were hyper-focusing, weren't you? You
I
were
was in 4.
hyper-focusing on what you were doing, and then your toast got cold, and you were kind of sad about that.
No, I was kind of mad.
He was wanting to count by 19s to 30,000 on his calculator.
You mean 40,000?
Oh, sorry, 40,000. That's one thing I love about you.
It
See,
says
that's a superpower and a struggle because it's so cool that you are interested in understanding numbers that big. That's a superpower, but it's also kind of a struggle because when you get so hyper-focused, things go how you don't like them to go, like your toast getting cold, then it's kind of a bummer, huh?
Like a bummer.
All right, let's read our next page. These are Alex's superpowers. So if you're on the autism spectrum, you probably have some of the same superpowers as me, and also some that are unique to you. Write down your name and your own superpowers below. This is what I love about this book, is that it tailors it to the individual child. Alex's superpowers. I wrote some down, and you can help us come up with a few more to write in here too. So one of your superpowers is that you have a super smart brain and you learn things easily and quickly when you are interested in something. Yeah, so you have a super smart brain. And another superpower is you're a solar system expert. That's part of having a super smart brain, huh? You're a solar system expert. So your particular senses that are heightened are super hearing, feeling, and tasting. So those are kind of like a double-edged sword, because you can really pick up on small little things. That also makes those senses overwhelming for you sometimes. And you have a lot of things that are pretty awesome about being Alex, huh? Those things are pretty awesome.
I don't like being Alex.
You should say, I love being Alex because I have all these superpowers. And that's so cool.
I love being Alex because I don't have those superpowers.
That's much better. So every time you're kind of feeling frustrated, because you say that sometimes, and it makes Mommy very sad when you say that. When you say, I don't want to be Alex, because you know what? God made you just the way you're supposed to be.
I love my mommy.
And I love you.
I wish I was not a human.
What do you want to be?
An animal.
What kind of animal?
A dog.
You want to be a dog?
No, I want to be a cat.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Sophie wants to be a cat. What would you want to be?
I want to be a frog.
A frog? Why?
Why? I love jumping.
Oh, if you do love jumping, that makes sense. You do like to jump like a frog an awful lot, don't you?
Look at me. I want to hold your face.
This is another sensory thing. He likes to hold Mommy's face. Okay, but that's enough.
Pretend, please.
Sometimes it's a bit much for Mommy. Energy levels. I've got energy levels here. This is really useful for parents and kids alike, and just for ourselves, huh? All right, energy levels. My mom helped me figure out activities that are energy draining and activities that are energy building. This is true for you too, Sophie. This is true for all of us.
Oh.
I usually imagine my energy levels like a battery. Sometimes I tell my mom how much percent my battery has left. Have you ever noticed that on Mommy's phone? That there's a picture of a little battery up on the top? And when it's all the way full like this, that means that it's full of energy. And when it's all the way down like this, the battery's about to die. Sometimes you're kind of like that too. And we're all kind of like that.
I'm like a car and I gotta get gas. That's
right. Sometimes you have to do activities that charge you up. Like, Mom, I'm powering down. I'm at 15%. We try and limit energy draining activities and add energy building activities into my schedule. This really helps me deal with life better, and the energy builders recharge my battery. So, Nathan's energy drainers, and I think a lot of these things are kind of true for you too. So, something that drains your energy is leaving the house, well, depending on where we're going. Field trips, eating, traveling, and sports. I'd say of those things, leaving the house and going and hanging out with people that you don't really know very well, does that drain your energy?
Yeah.
That's true of Mommy too, because Mommy's an introvert. And trying new foods, mealtime is like that almost every meal, isn't it? If it's something that you're not used to. That's stressful and that drains your energy, right? Or if your routine changes,